So let's take a look at what are the major pain points today in 2022 and not 2018. So earlier this year, we have the NFT mint by Yugas Labs, which is a NFT project which is other this. And at that point of time, there was a crazy massive congestion on Ethereum, and people are losing like thousands of dollars in gas fee and not getting their transaction being confirmed. And what about the side chain? Earlier this year, also on Polygon, there is also a very popular game, and it uses up a significant chunk of the block space on Polygon. And also finally on the L2 space, whereby we have the Arbitrum, which is they launched the Odyssey campaign, and they have deposit along the way because of massive congestion again. So you can see that this congestion issue, scaling issue is still a major problem in 2022. And we have been complaining about scaling issues since 2017, 2018, and we have been building all kinds of solutions, but we still can't cater to this kind of congestion issue. And one of the major issues is because a lot of dApps nowadays just require some capacity for a very short time, like a sudden spike, like an NFT mint and so on. So what we are doing at OddLayer, so OddLayer, we are not just building L2. We are actually building a platform for you to launch L2 on demand on the fly. So we can easily launch L2 within, let's say, 30 minutes or so, and the L2 has quite a decent TPS of about 2000 and above, block latency that is configurable, and that is under 2 seconds. And also, it supports different VMs such as EVM, WASM, and also, you can actually, one very unique point about our rollup is that you can actually determine the lifetime of your rollup. Let's say if you need it for 1 day, then you just spin it out for 1 day. If you need it for 1 month, just spin it out for 1 month, and so on. And also, this is all optimistic rollup, and we build it in a modular way. And in terms of our product line, we have 2 different tiers that are building, that are basically optimistic rollup. One is flash layer, and the other one is what we call a persistent rollup. So flash layer are simply rollups that you do need it for very long. Let's say if you need it for a few hours or need it for a few days, a few months, then you can come and use this solution. Basically, you just use it, and once you do need it, then you can dispose it off. And whereas for persistent layer, then that is something that, like what the name say, persistent, and that's you just launch it and use it forever. So let's take a look at the first type of rollup, which is the flash layer that we are offering. So for flash layer, let's take an example of an NFT mint. So NFT mint is basically, there is a lot of transaction going through in a very short amount of time. Let's say a few minutes or a few days, like up to 48 hours or so. So in this case, you can actually use our platform to launch an application-specific rollup that is dedicated for your NFT mint, deploy your smart contract using your normal tooling. Then after that, launch your campaign, launch your NFT mint with your dedicated block space without anything to worry. You don't need to worry about whether is anyone actually having a similar event as you at that point of time. And once you are done with the NFT mint, what we can do is that you can do what we call automatic rollup back to Ethereum. So this rollup is a bit unique, is that it roll up the contract states. So imagine that you can actually migrate your data from L2 back to Ethereum. Isn't that wonderful? So this is basically, you are burning away the NFT on L2 and minting it on L1. And this is an automatic step. So what are the main benefit for using this kind of solution, a flash layer, is that really the minting experience is very similar for most users. There's no congestion. So congestion is the main complaint for NFT mints. Without congestion, you already solve like, let's say 70–80% of the problem. And the next thing is, because this is a layer that is for you, you can actually create a flash layer that has gas token, but the gas token has 0 value. So you can actually airdrop all this gas token to all your users. And once you airdrop it, and they can use it for this minting, and this kind of token won't be rolled out back to L1. So in this case, they are paying $0 for gas. So First, you have no congestion. Second, you don't even need to pay for gas. But at the end of the day, someone still need to pay for gas, right? And that's where the project team has to incur a bit on the gas fee. That's where they need to actually roll up the contract back onto L1. And of course, the roll-up in this case won't be so expensive as compared to what user is paying, because users are like paying thousands of dollars to get their transaction in first. But in this case, for us is you can actually roll up at any point of time that when the, let's say, gas cost is low. And what about the other kind of roll up, the persistent one? So the persistent one has one additional function, which is basic fraud proof that is very common across optimistic roll up like Arbitrum. And I think Optimism is also working on their fraud proof. With the fraud proof, then you can derive your security from your L1. And what about diversification and decentralization? So we will be able, for our rollups, we can run multiple producer, or what is commonly known as sequencer. And with that, you eliminate, let's say, single point of failure, and also censorship mitigation also. And for verifier, we allow you to actually run in various modes. Let's say if you wanted to run a light client, if you want to run it in a hardware enclave like Intel SGX, or if you want to run it on a standalone desktop machine or cloud infrastructure, you also can do it. So in terms of security-wise, we have a tiered security level. So the first level is whereby the moment the transaction is confirmed on the L2, you can just basically treat it as confirmed. If you are comfortable with that, the block latency is about 2 minutes. But if you are not comfortable with that, you can actually run your own light client on your browser. This is basically trust but verify. So you verify it yourself, verify that nothing is wrong, then you confirm it. And this probably will take a few minutes. And if you don't even really trust this step, then you can wait for it to be rolled up back to L1. And that's where you just need to trust L1 basically. And on top of that, we know that there's a lot of some limitation for EVMs. You might want to call certain function that's not available within EVMs and so on. For example, certain ZK libraries. So as long as those libraries can be compiled into WASM, we will be able to provide you with an interface that allow you to, from Solidity, to call all these external libraries and so on. And so far, we have our DevNet already launched, and we will be continually maintaining and upgrading the DevNet. And starting from next year, we are also gearing up for our mainnet candidate release, and we will be very, very busy working very hard towards our mainnet. On top of that, right, we are not just going to end with just launching a mainnet. We know that we want to make life easy for developers. We want to make it very easy. And that's why we can have certain toolings to help them. One example is, for example, rollup creation template. For example, for NFT project, right, they may not actually, they want an application-specific network, but they don't want to configure it themselves. They don't have the capability, or they just don't have the bandwidth. So in this case, they can, sorry. Anyway, yeah. So in this case, they can actually just basically, yeah. So use the default template with the parameters, default, all the default settings. If they need to tweak a bit of settings, deploy a rollout within, let's say, 30 seconds or so. Or the other, and same for, let's say, gaming and so on. And on top of that, we know that application specific has one main issue, which is the diversity of the ecosystem. You might lack access of all the DEXs, NFT marketplace, and so on. So we are also building additional tooling, additional add-on. We also invite ecosystem partner to come and build on top of us and provide them as part of add-ons for these rollouts. So when you launch a rollout, right, you can actually deploy all these applications together with your rollout immediately. So in this case, right, from day zero, you already have all these diverse ecosystem, and you don't need to worry about having to source for partners and so on. And we did a few showcase of our tech so far. The first one is NFT Mint. So we did our OG batch. We call it OG batch. Basically, we use our logo, change some color, and make it very beautiful. And we did an NFT minting of 100 NFT, and the NFT actually got minted, fully minted within 18 seconds. And after that, we rolled them out back onto Ethereum L1, and it's actually available on OpenSea. And at that point of time, the rollup cost for us is only 0.25 ETH, and that is at a GWay of about 12 GWay. So it really is a very efficient manner, and the user actually don't need to pay for gas fee and so on. And we did a second round of showcase. The second round of showcase is basically we host Dark Forest on our gaming flash layer, and we ran a community round for 2 days. And during these 2 days, we have almost about 200K transaction recorded on chain. And that's everything is very seamless. And because it's using a gas token that has no value, people can just claim the gas token from the faucet and play Dark Forest game without incurring a single cent. So our next showcase will be our Mascot. In this showcase is coming soon. We will be showcasing the execution layer, which is L2, settlement layer, which is Ethereum, and also multi-chain. So you'll be able to bridge asset from various EVM chain into our L2 and use it to mint the NFT. Yeah, and that's it. And if you want to know more about us, you can check out the QR code. And yeah, thank you very much.